What's going on, bottom line viewers? It's Mitch here, joined by the one, the only, you all love him and you all know him as Fitty Trent. Fitty Trent is here to discuss the Nashville Predators versus the Anaheim Ducks, game number 3 in the Western Conference Final in the NHL playoffs. Now, on the opposite side of things, we had an NBA game that was pretty lackluster, Fitty Trent. But tonight, for the NHL, they put on a show. We had the Ducks, we had the Predators, we had a great crowd there in Nashville. We had celebrity after country star celebrity in attendance. We had numerous people in attendance, and I just felt like this was an NHL playoff game, and it had a great atmosphere. It was fun to watch, especially in that third period. And Nashville, and if you're a Nashville fan, I think you got to be very happy, not only by getting this win, but also the way that your team is playing. Applaud to you, Nashville Predators and your fans. Good work, good work. Fitty Trent, what'd you think of tonight's game? Did you enjoy it? Did you have fun watching it? And quick little things on what you noticed.
Mitch, I mean, congratulations. You're bringing a tear to my eye because you're finally opening up your eyes and seeing, hey, there are other good, great teams in the NHL.
Hey, I'm going to hold you right there, Fitty Trent, because did I not say that Nashville was good like 2 rounds ago?
You did say that they were good, and I appreciate it. You're giving credit where credit is due. This was a great game to watch. Great celebrities, as you said. Keith Urban kicking it off. It seems like they have a new country celebrity to sing the anthem every single time. Great defensive battle for most of the game. And overall, both teams, they should be proud of how they played. Both teams, they played very well and played a very good style of hockey. All things considered, it was a great game of hockey to watch. And it leads me to believe even more that this is going to be a 7-game series because both these teams, they have that drive to win. And both these teams looked very hungry tonight.
There he is, AC, everybody. What's going on, AC?
What's up?
AC, we were just starting and we were talking about how we enjoyed the game. Now, did you watch the game?
No, I had a late dinner with the grandma. Late plans this afternoon. She said she wanted to have dinner, so I don't get to see her often. So I had to be a good grandson. So I didn't watch the game, but it's unbelievable to see Nashville score 2 goals in the third period to end up winning that game. And, Nashville looks like on a roll. They can win any way, it looks like.
It seemed like Nashville was maybe going to be on the ropes in this one. Early on, it seemed like Anaheim, they had their 1 goal. But now this game was very competitive all the way through, and it was, like Fitty Trent said, a very defensive, hard-fought game. Now, I did miss most of the second period because I was over there watching SmackDown because I had to do the review of that. But I watched the first. I definitely watched the third. And it just seemed like the third period, Nashville was all over them. Nashville was in their face. Nashville was in Anaheim's zone. They were getting a ton of shots on net. They could have had a couple of goals if it weren't for a little bit of rub in front of the net on the goalie. I mean, there was a couple goaltender interference calls. And it just seemed like Anaheim was overwhelmed by Nashville and their pace of play and also their fans. I mean, Nashville, the longer the game goes in Nashville and the longer that Nashville is in the game, it's hard to beat the Predators at home because that crowd is so crazy, and they definitely lived up to the name tonight, right, Trent?
Absolutely. I mean, one note to point out, 6-0 at home on their home ice right now. That's tough no matter who you're facing.
Yeah, for sure. AC, any quick comments on that, or we want to get in the game?
Well, no, when we get in the game, though, and, it wasn't really Gibson's fault because they did get outshot by 20 or something. Nashville had like 40 shots. But still, maybe he wasn't the reason this game, but he's still not the goalie now that I thought he was to take this team to a Stanley Cup. Because I think this team has some pieces. I think a little more steady goaltending could be the reason. But Nashville's playing so well, it might not matter who's in net. But I do think Gibson's definitely the worst goalie by far of the final 4 teams left.
Looking at the chat real quick, we have Katana, who's the big Predators fan. He says, go Preds. He says, awesome game. Great win for the Preds. Nashville's still winning in 6-0 with 3 exclamation marks. Bodo Winter is here. He says he didn't know Nashville had an offense. Well, they scored 2 goals. So, I mean, it's pretty good. They've been pretty good in this playoffs. I mean, they've been one of the best teams overall. Like, looking at the Western Conference, ever since the first round, they've been probably the most dominant team, and they continue that in this series. And most of it has been relying on their defense and their goaltending, but they've scored when they've needed to. CBR Paul says, "What's up, dogs?"
Oh.
All right, let's get into this game. Of course, 2-1 Predators. 1 goal from Perry, 1 goal from Forsberg, and Josi for Nashville. Both in the third period. Perry scored in the second. For the goaltenders, Adam already brought it up. Anaheim, Gibson, 38 saves, did let in 2. Rinne, 19, did let in 1. Now, looking at their performances in the net, I thought Rinne was solid. Like, he wasn't spectacular or needed to be spectacular because he didn't have many opportunities against him. But he made the saves when he needed to. And there weren't many huge opportunities, but he did do his job. But he did allow 1 goal, so they did allow the first goal. It would have been nice maybe to have that back, but it is what it is. Gibson, 38 saves. I do think as many saves that he did have in this game, I thought he got a little bit lucky. And like Adam says, like, he doesn't seem elite or like good because he's a weird style of goalie. Like, he'll save the puck, but it's almost like he didn't mean to. You know what I mean? Like, it like bounces off of him and then he can't control the rebound. He doesn't know where, like, there was a lot, especially in the third period, where Nashville was shooting, getting the rebound back in the corner, getting into the point, shooting, getting the rebound back. And Gibson was like staggering everywhere. He's trying to get up. And Gibson just I didn't think he had the best game here. Now, I'm not going to blame it on him because I think he had a lot of pressure to withstand, but it wasn't the most polished game of hockey I've ever seen a goalie play. Looking at the statistics, of course, we have the penalties. There was a lot in the second period overall, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 penalties in the second period, only 2 in the third and 1 in the first. So again, the NHL continuing to let the players play when it means the most. That's in the third period. Anaheim, Corey Perry had a point, had a penalty, 2 shots on goal, and a hit. He continues to play a little bit better, ever since that Oilers series where it seemed like he was the invisible man on the ice. Halfway through that series, he's kind of come on a little bit and producing more offensively. Vatanen had a point in this game, but was also a -1 and was one of the big reasons why Nashville actually scored one of their goals. He had 3 blocks in this game. What else we got? Fowler was a -1, but I thought he was okay. Had 4 shots on goal. Theodore was giving up the puck. He gave up the puck twice in 1 shift. 3 shots on goal. I really like Theodore as a player, as a very young player. He's a good skater and everything, but maybe the experience and the pressure got to him a little bit in a couple of sequences. He seemed a little off, and he was throwing the puck up the middle. It was getting picked off. Wasn't very good for him. Getzlaf, again, without a point in this game. And usually when Getzlaf's without a point, it seems like Anaheim does lose. He did have 6 blocks in this game, showing off his defensive prowess. And also you have Getzlaf with 2 shots. And he only took, guess how many faceoffs? He only took 9 faceoffs. Is that weird?
It's very weird.
So Getzlaf only took 9 faceoffs. Kesler took a lot of them, but didn't do very well. He was only 9 for 13. He did win some of the clutch ones in the third period, but it didn't really seem to matter. Had 2 shots on goal, 2 hits, 3 blocks. Was a -1 as well. So the checker was a -1 in this game. What else we got? Wagner had that huge penalty at the end of the game. He also had 6 hits in the game. He actually had a really good shift leading up to that penalty, but then took a really stupid high sticking penalty to set up Nashville on the power play. What else we got? That's pretty much it. I want to see a little bit more production from guys like Cogliano. I haven't seen enough from him. Richie was pretty much invisible in this game. I think he's just been really lucky, to be quite honest with you, with the goals and the points that he has, but Thompson also took a pretty dumb penalty in this game. What else we got? Pretty much went through most of the people. Silverberg didn't have his greatest game in this game. Pretty much left off the stat sheet. Only had 2 shots. And for Nashville, the winning squad, Forsberg, another great game with 6 shots, a goal, +1 and a hit. He's, again, reminding us that he's one of the better wingers, especially left wingers in the game. Josi had a goal, 5 shots, 1 hit, 2 blocks. Again, the defense of Nashville being the reason why they won this game. You have Josi, Ellis, Ekholm, Subban. These 4 guys in particular were off the charts good. Ekholm had a great scoring chance in front of the net. Had 3 shots, did have a penalty, but had an assist. Subban was fantastic, I thought, up and down the ice. Great defensively, very good offensively. Had 3 shots, 2 hits, a block. Also, the last guy I want to bring up, who was it? Ellis, I think, had 9 shots on goal. 9 shots, 2 hits, 1 block. He was all over it. And great breaking the puck up the ice and also, shooting a lot of the puck. So that was good. Also, who else was pretty good in this game? Johansson wasn't his greatest game ever, but he was there, obviously. Rinne, again, not his greatest game. But I really thought that the reason why Nashville won this game was their defense, and not just their defense, but their defense creating their offense, which is what has been happening all playoff long. So, guys, what did you think of the performances in this game? I know I took up a lot of them, but Trent, I know you have something to add.
No, I know that you added a lot there, Mitch, but I just want to say for all the bottom line viewer fans, the past 2 games that Ryan Ellis has played, he's kind of played a couple lackluster games. Not his best hockey, kind of been giving up the puck a little bit. You kind of don't see him getting those kind of shots. And I've been saying, when Ellis plays bad like that, he always has that comeback game. And this game was most definitely his comeback game. As you said, 9 big shots, 2 hits, a block. He was looking absolutely fantastic out there. I mean, I really like how he basically would flip the puck into the offensive zone and go chase after it, being the first forechecker. I mean, he was all over the ice tonight, whether it was behind the net, on the point. He was just killing it back and forth. From the goaltender standpoint, though, Pekka Rinne, you can't really blame him for the goal that he let in. I mean, it was kind of a fluky goal. Perry was just kind of trying to throw it as a centering pass out in front, and it kind of hit his pad and went behind him. So you can't really blame him for that kind of goal. Other than that, Rinne played very solid. On the forward side of Nashville, I mean, Harry Zolnarchuk, what an unlucky game for him. First period, one of his first shifts, he gets hit, shaken up, goes off for the entire period. Second period, he gets a couple more shifts, then gets absolutely obliterated, basically separates his shoulder. He gets hauled off the ice. He does not get to see a second more of the NHL game whatsoever. Sad to see him, because he works so hard for Nashville, but just getting obliterated like that. But Austin Watson, his teammate, stepping up in a big way with 7 hits. Cody McLeod, another one of his teammates, stepping up to fight against Jared Bull, the guy who hit him. Had 17 penalty minutes and 4 big hits for him. So they were definitely the offensive guys, on the physical side of the puck. Mike Fisher, I thought, had a pretty good game. 3 hits, 3 blocks, 58% on the faceoff dot, doing what he can for his wife and his son. They're up in the audience, so, he's going to put on a good game for them. On the Anaheim Ducks side, yes, Gibson had those 40 shots against him, but I've been saying it time in and time again, and you guys agree with me. He's not good at rebounding the puck. He's not good at controlling those rebounds. And that's really the reason why they probably are losing these games, because he coughs up so many of those juicy rebounds, especially that we saw in the third. And also, we've been saying that both these teams have really good defenses, and every single one of Anaheim's defenders had at least 1 giveaway in this game. And that's crucial. That's crucial if you want your team to win. A lot of those giveaways were in the third, like Vatanen, as you said, 2 giveaways in 1 shift. Very crucial giveaways also. On their offensive side, no one really played outstanding, I thought. Vermette, was 57% in the faceoff dot. Cogliano, you said, needs to step up. He did not even play 10 minutes in this game. He didn't even play 10 minutes. That's like 4th liner minutes right there. Cogliano, we definitely need him to step up more. And yeah, I mean, Bull, as I said, he had that fight. 4 big hits for him. Kesler, he was there in the faceoff dot. Only won 1% though. So overall, Nashville dominated this game. Yes, Anaheim looked good in the first. They looked pretty good in the second. But in the third period, kind of like the Pittsburgh and Ottawa game, it looked like the Anaheim Ducks just got lazy and the Nashville Predators took advantage.
Yeah, and I didn't watch most of the game, but Trent, you stole one of my points.
I'm sorry, AC.
I forgive you.
How do you do that to Mr. Barstool, bro? Come on.
The only thing I could say was the giveaways, but I'm going to quickly just go into them. You know, the talk was Anaheim did have a good defensive core. Everyone obviously knew Nashville, but look at this. Fowler one giveaway, Manson one giveaway, Vatanen, Lindholm, and Theodore all with 2, and then Montour with 1. And then you look at Nashville, the only guys with a giveaway is Ryan Ellis with 1 and Subban with 2. That's it. So just like look at that consistency and that depth that Nashville has. That the other 3 guys on Nashville, their defensemen are playing really well, but they're not giving up the puck, and that's what you need. You need your bottom 2 pair not to give up the puck and play solid. You can't have that many giveaways. And credit to Nashville too, because they always seem to have a good forecheck, but. Vatanen, Lindholm, and Theodore, these are supposed to be puck-moving defensemen. They can't be giving up the puck 2 times a game each.
Good point. So those were the performances of the game. What are we looking for? I know that we pretty much said, and we went over that Nashville pretty much dominated this one. I got the same tone as Trent said, as like the Pittsburgh and Ottawa game. Despite the game being only 1 goal apart, it seemed like one team was far superior on the ice. Now, we'll ask 2 questions here. For Nashville, heading forward, obviously, what do you think is going to happen with them next game? And what do you think Anaheim has to do to rebound against Nashville in the next game? Because, again, it's in Nashville. Very tough place to play. It's already 2-1, and if you go down 3-1, it's very tough to come back. So what does Anaheim have to do to win this next game?
Well, personally, I just find that they need to focus on playing 3 periods of hockey. I mean, we said it, clearly there. They did play the first 2 periods, but the 3rd period, they didn't play very well, Hockey is a 3-period game. It's at least a 60-minute game. You got to put on your best all 60 minutes, and honestly, they didn't do that. And as AC said, move that puck out of your zone. Stop giving it away. Sometimes the short little passes are much better than trying to make the big fancy plays, like the big cross ice passes. Just make nice little passes just to break it out of your zone, and then you can start moving into a few more advanced things. But don't give up the puck when you're right in front of your own net. And Gibson, learn how to control the puck, man. I mean, use that glove, use that blocker, use that big body that you have to be able to smother that puck, because you're just giving away tons of juicy rebounds left, right, and center. I could probably bury some of those goals, honestly. That's how juicy the rebounds are. So Anaheim just needs to calm down and just cover the puck and make the simple play. And
Nashville needs to stop interfering.
It's true. Nashville needs to stop interfering with Gibson. Otherwise, they'd have so many more goals.
Also, my thing with the Ducks is I think they need to get back. Obviously, this was kind of a lazy performance from them.
Yeah,
they were still in the game, but I think to get back and get your feet back under you for this next game, the number 1 crucial thing in a road game is your forecheck, and you need to throw those big bodies around. Of course, we've been talking about Nashville's defense being the best part of their game. Punish their defense. Hit them when they got the puck behind the net. Hit them when they're getting the puck. So that's what I think. Just put more pressure on their defense, because as we've seen in Nashville, their defense is responsible for like a majority of their point production. So get more aggressive on their defense for Anaheim's sake.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. And then I think for Anaheim, obviously their first, they scored on the power play, but they need a goal from Vermette or Thompson or Cogliano, because they haven't really had that a lot, even throughout their first 2 series, right? You know what I mean? They maybe got it a bit in the first round, but they really haven't had their 3rd line checkers kind of even just put 1 in every 3 games or something like some of these other teams have happened to them. And then going forward, the one thing with Anaheim I'll give them credit for is, they went back and forth with Edmonton. Obviously, Nashville's a lot stronger than Edmonton. I don't think Nashville's going to let up, but at least Anaheim has shown last series that after a loss that's kind of embarrassing or whatever, you get outshot, you get out hit, we've seen them bounce back. So we'll see what happens, because, game 4 is going to be huge, right? Because you can't go down 3-1.
And Adam, the thing is with these games right now in either series, we're seeing these 1-goal close defensive games right now. And the thing, well, I guess last game wasn't, but looking at these series, even if you're not outperforming your opponent, you could get a lucky bounce here and there, and then you have a goal and you win the game by 1 goal because you got that lucky bounce. So you never know. I mean, even if they don't outperform Nashville in all facets of the game like Nashville did tonight to Anaheim, they could still end up winning this game because the game is so tight. So
for sure,
well, no,
and they got that lucky bounce tonight to get that 1 goal.
Yeah, right. Like, if you think about it, Anaheim still, for how bad they play, were up with 4 minutes left or 5 minutes left or whatever it was when they tied it up, right? Like, those are games that could go either way, and like that's what we're kind of seeing with Pittsburgh, Ottawa, and we've seen that traditionally in the Stanley Cup playoffs. How many games do you see where one team's dominated and the other team just sneaks by type thing, right? We've seen it before. Obviously, you go with the more dominant team because eventually they're going to score.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
We've seen some teams steal games where they probably shouldn't have won.
Yeah. Let's get to the chat real quick. We have Bodo, who says, when you face 20 more shots, that's more defense than goalie. But he also says that Gibson gives up too many rebounds.
Yeah, I didn't really put it on him today. I don't think he's the strongest, but I'll definitely he had a horrible game 1 because I thought Anaheim didn't play that bad game 1. And I thought Gibson was a little soft.
Anything from you, Trent?
No, I mean, that's fair enough. I mean, yeah, you made 38 saves. That's great, but control those rebounds. You can't blame it always on the defense because we've been saying that the defense is good. Plus, your defense got you 22 blocks in this game. Imagine if some of those shots did not get blocked and went through.
Does that more fall on the forwards then? Think about it. Forwards aren't playing enough offense.
Oh, I agree with you 100%, right? Like we saw it with Ottawa, you know what I mean? Like how Ottawa played that third period. When you have no offense, it doesn't matter. You're going to get shots. Like they're going to just shoot because they have all the possession. And if you're, and it gives the other team confidence too. If you're kind of like, what's this offense doing? We can walk all over them. And they wore them down and got the 2 goals late to win it.
Evan P says, go Preds, the Canucks fan, Evan P. Josh says, the fact that Kesler isn't getting called out for poor play in this series and getting praised for getting in Johansson's face or Johansson's head, but Johansson is outplaying him is mind-blowing to me. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I thought that was
kind of Kesler's playing bad?
I don't think this series has been his best, but, he's going to pick it up, but I don't think that was that big of a deal. It's actually, I actually like that Johansson stepped up and said something against him. You know what I mean? Because, you can't let a guy kind of push you around on the ice and then, why not just say something to maybe get in his head a bit? Put it out to the world that he's a greasy person. In that quote, what he said, Johansson was just like, if I was his friends in the family, like it was a pretty harsh quote. You know what I mean? I think that might even get in the head of Kesler a bit. Because, when you're being like, if you're his friends and your family and you're the thing, how could you even watch and cheer for this guy? Like, that's pretty, if that's not being like he's a dirty player, like that's going a little bit deeper.
For sure. Kesler has always been that kind of gritty, douchebag kind of player. Even when he was with the Canucks, I have a poster of him right in the back. Even when he was with the Canucks, he liked to get in people's heads. So with that, you have to try to get into his head. And that's what Johansson's been doing, as AC said. And sometimes that's the best way to play against a player like that.
Matty Ice has the greatest stat of all time, and I think Adam will like this one. Goals in the 3rd round. Forsberg 2, Capitals 0.
Yeah. Well, they're the Capitals, man. I could care less now. They're out. It's whatever. Like...
John G says, Ducks lose game 4, series is over.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree with that.
Bodo then replies to Matty Ice saying, I didn't know anyone was a Matt Ryan fan. Josh says Adam with no hat. He's wearing a hat.
No, I was taking it off though. I actually got a lot of hair. Hat guy. Always. Backwards, forwards, this way, killing it.
All right. Pablo says Rinne is better than Gibson. I think he means is best than Gibson. Bodo says score more goals. So, anyways, guys, anything else to add to this conversation, Predators Ducks, before we wrap up?
I mean, going into game 4, I think we kind of described what the Anaheim Ducks need to do. We didn't really describe what the Predators need to do. And Predators, I have to say,
Just need to play the same. I mean, there's not much to add.
I mean, they dominated the third, but I have to say,
Get a quicker start, maybe.
A quicker start for sure, because in the first and the second period, when you guys had a power play, you guys were looking like the Canucks power play. I hate to say this, but you guys were looking like the Canucks power play. Standing behind your net, waiting for that perfect play to arise, and just passing it from point man to point man to point man to point man. That's not how you play a power play. You guys learned that very quickly in the third period and decided to get shots. So Predators, when you get the power play, shoot the puck. If you shoot the puck, you might get a goal. That's all I have to say.
All right. So anyways, guys, thanks for joining us for the Nashville Predators Anaheim Ducks Game 3 recap for today. That's May the 16th, 2017. If you enjoyed, Gronk spike that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more NHL recaps. Tomorrow, Pittsburgh, Ottawa. I'm really not sure if I'm going to be on the recap because I have a lacrosse game tomorrow. I hope I'm going to be on it, but we'll see what happens. Of course, it's a Pittsburgh game, so I'd love to be on it. But first off, do we have any predictions before I'm gonna say goodbye?
No, I think it's gonna be a close game. Maybe another overtime. I think Ottawa plays better, but obviously I could see it. If Ottawa plays the same way they did in the third period, it's gonna be a bloodbath. That's for sure.
Ottawa's gonna play better, and because of that, and because it's their now home ice, and because they have that huge crowd behind them, they're gonna win this game against the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Ooh. I'll say for the Penguins fans out there, 3-2. We're going to get a couple more goals in this game.
Ooh.
3-2 Pittsburgh.
Ooh.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in tomorrow, whether it's me, whether it's Trent, whether it's Adam, whether it's Kev. Peace out.